Hello, Father. My last confession was 5 years ago, and my sins are...
2 hours later.
I don't know, Father. Technically, the pizza didn't have his name on it. What's going on, movie fans? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and ridiculousness. Anyways, we're jumping over to the Netflix streaming platform and watching a TV series based on kind of an American manga-style comic book, and it's called Warrior Nun. A young woman wakes up in a morgue with supernatural powers and gets caught up in a battle between good and evil. So does Warrior Nun pack all of the religion and warrior that you're hoping for? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Warrior Nun, if you're looking forward to this, or are you a fan of the manga-style comic book? Now let's get into some of the good. So right off the bat, I think Warrior Nun religion and kung fu almost, and fighting and badassery amongst these nuns is awesome. And that's getting into the lore of this show, of the world. I am on board for everything in this world, essentially. I mean, there's these fathers and nuns and priests and religion and kind of these behind-the-scenes workings of them essentially warding off demons and protecting this world, and each of them being trained as like a warrior, having these individual powers like shotguns, throwing knives, other fun stuff. Like, the lore of everything that's going on, especially the halo, the main thing that everyone is going for in our main character of Ava, is the coolest thing ever. Like, they're bringing it out, it's giving them superpowers, she can kind of morph through walls. Like, the lore is awesome, but then getting into the superpower, almost supernatural, borderline religion, depends how you look at it, aspect of this show is so freaking cool. And it's kind of the chosen one. Like, the Halo apparently chooses who goes on and gets these powers to lead this group of warrior nuns, defending off against the devil, evil, spirits, wraiths, everything in it. And that's another thing, is like bringing in the other aspect of these cool, like, demons and, you know, the moral conundrum of right and wrong, and can you lose yourself and essentially get this evil attached to you, or a wraith, and it's possession and exorcism almost. Everything that you think of kind of movies and television that deals with religion, it's sort of in this, cranked up to a different level. And moving away from the lore, getting into the performances, I mean, one of the core group of people, I think, Ava, for example, played by Alba Baptista, it looks like a cross between Ellen Page and Jessica Alba. I thought that she turned in a fun performance. I mean, she is the main character. She's the one running through with this halo. And I thought that she was very competent of, you know, giving this moral conundrum of a person that didn't have much life, that wants to live life, but is also given a calling, given a purpose, given a reason to live over again. So I like that kind of, no more, like, the what the character has to deal with through this series of, I want to do my own thing for personal reasons, but I am actually here for a much higher power. And then the characters, you know, there's a lot of inner conflict between some of the nuns and the fathers and whatnot, and they each kind of have their own plot. I liked how that all played together. So I think the lore and the characters and almost the brutalness of this, because it goes back into kind of like night, medieval type times for some of the scenes, and it is brutal. I mean, there's blood, there's maybe an arm that flies across the screen here or there, so it isn't shy to really, you know, move away from some of that graphic nature of this show. And one final thing that I really thought worked the best, I mean, there's costuming, there's the cool gadgets and stuff, but I think the moral conundrum between religion and science is very much played up here, because there's the church and then there's this high up tech company, and it's kind of this interesting thing to think, which way do you fall on this platform, or this teeter-totter, essentially? Which way do you lean? So it's an interesting concept of which one brings more power, which one has more staying power with the people, with religion, with belief and whatnot. And you do find out that the people that are maybe the evil people actually have these personal reasons for either the technology or the religion. So it puts you at the middle and almost makes you kind of choose a side of which one is doing the right thing, which one is wrong, because you may think that, I don't know, the religion's bad or the science is bad, but it's completely flip-flopped when it plays out. However, I think I liked the idea of Warrior Nun than I actually fully enjoyed the completeness of Warrior Nun. I mean, like I said, it brings up some cool concepts of, you know, religion and science and whatnot, but it doesn't play out exactly the way I want. It's 10 episodes, and about the first few episodes are following our main character of Ava and kind of almost on this revenge, kind of making up for old time's sake and whatnot. But also, it takes about 2 to 3 episodes of her hanging out with these squatters, these kind of hipster teenage, you know, young millennial type characters, that doesn't feel like it adds much to the story. They I wouldn't say are annoying, but they're not the good part of this. You want the religion, you want the science, you want the weirdness, you want historical flashbacks and whatnot. You don't want these kids just hanging out in this lavish lifestyle. And the idea of this constant fight of evil and good, they don't really dive into it as much as I want, or they get into it way too late in the 10 episodes of this series. There's demons that pop up, and I think that the CGI, or actually the design, I think the design of these demons is one thing that maybe turned me off. The CGI is hit or miss, but I think that the design of the demon is the thing that didn't really stick, and maybe it's a thing that's in the comic book, in the manga, that these are exactly what they look like. I didn't think that they played out too well on the big screen, but that was another thing of, like, I like the idea. I made up this idea of what this show could be, and unfortunately, that's not how all of this plays out. But then spoilers right here, we're waving our arms. Getting in to probably the last 3 episodes, that's when this series finally kicks off. It's cool stuff. We're dealing with powers, we're dealing with demons, we're dealing with science, we're dealing with religion, and finally getting into some sort of a conflict. And then it just ends. And I think that the biggest thing against this first season is that the last episode just ends like that. Like, you get the big bad, you get the opposingness to the religion aspect, you get this person that was essentially dragged to hell coming back as one of the nuns and having these like almost mystic powers about her, but it just ends. And it's almost like this is a setup to what I want to see. I think the last 3 episodes could have been like 4, 5, and 6, or 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then give me a few episodes after to set up how the world is going to be following this. Obviously, there's a big baddie that comes back, essentially someone that is the rightful heir to the Halo, but it's a little bit too late, and it's a goddamn cliffhanger that wants you, leaving you for more. Like, it's not a good finish. Overall, Warrior Nun is a badass Netflix series featuring some cool lore, but could have gone a little further. With it again featuring some cool lore, performances, just the idea of everything is so great. However, the execution wasn't up to my idea, with a damn cliffhanger and a few other aspects that just do not land. I'd recommend checking out Warrior Nun. I think that there's more positives than negatives. It does set up something interesting for a potential season 2 and 3, who knows, but it's that ending that might be a big turnoff for a lot of people. In closing, I'm going to give Warrior Nun 3.3 out of 5 Beyonce's Halo. So what did you guys think of Warrior Nun? If you've already seen this one, binge through it, or are a fan of the manga comic book, let me know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. I have no idea. Actually, tomorrow, Netflix movie review for Desperados. Stay tuned for that and a few other fun things this weekend. Follow all of my social media, like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.